My favorite part about the Memorial Weekend, I find it really exciting and inspiring just to be in Washington, D.C., to be in our nation's capital over such a patriotic weekend. There's a lot to be inspired by.
Starting with the first year, it was a big success and has been every year since then.
This is one of the events I look most forward to doing because for two reasons. Number one, I love music, and particularly choral music, and I enjoy working with amateur volunteer singers. These singers come from communities all over this nation, high school choirs, junior high school choirs, church choirs, community choirs, and they're doing it for one thing and one thing only: they love to sing. And then to tie it into Memorial Day, our national holiday that honors and celebrates our veterans, is a very personal and poignant addition to my participation in this festival. When I first accepted this invitation, I told John from the very beginning I felt the success of this concert would be if we could have a first-class orchestra. And Larry Lang is the current commander of the band. He's one of the finest officers I've ever known, a great musician and a great officer.
Well, the United States Air Force Band is always looking for opportunities to honor our veterans. And of course, we always play performances on Memorial Day. And we often play at Arlington Cemetery. We have local concerts throughout the area, but this was a really wonderful opportunity to play in the Kennedy Center and to be a part of something quite extraordinary with all of the choruses and students coming in from across America. And so we love this opportunity to collaborate and to experience this important holiday together.
And then Colonel Arnold Gabriel hired me to be director of the Air Force Singing Sergeants many years ago, and he's one of my heroes. Not only as a musician, not only as an officer, but one of the finest, most courageous humans I've ever known. He landed at Normandy on D-Day as an 18-year-old machine gunner who played flute from Ithaca College and went on to become commander and conductor of the United States Air Force Band. Colonel Gabriel's participation in this concert is one of the highlights for me every year.
Yes, I'm Colonel Arnold Gabriel and Conductor Emeritus of the United States Air Force Band. I had 3 years in World War II as a combat machine gunner, and then 34 years with the Air Force Band, the last 21 years of which were with the Air Force Band. Initially, there were 16 million in the military service in World War II, and there's less than 1 million of us left. So I think it's important that they remember not only Memorial Day, but two other very significant days, June 6th, which was D-Day, and December 7th, which was Pearl Harbor Day. And oftentimes I'll ask high school students what that means, and they really don't know. So Music Celebrations has been very good in bringing together people on those particular days so they will remember the most significant days of the 20th century.
It's very clear that MCI has a lot of people who are very passionate about what they do. I feel like we're a real team, we're a real community. We often bring a lot of staff to this event so that they also catch the spirit. When they go back to the office, they're changed. And when they're talking about this to future groups, they're speaking from the real experience of having been there, done that. That first year we had over 40 bands, and I remember it very clearly because we had a lot of veterans of World War II who actually marched in that parade. Some rode on floats, some rode in cars because they couldn't walk, but there were many who insisted on walking the whole route. This for them was an incredible event.
And something very significant happened that day. The Grand Marshal of the parade was Mayor Anthony Williams, the mayor of Washington, D.C. And his father had been a World War II veteran, and he said, why doesn't Washington, D.C. have a Memorial Day parade every year? And nobody knew the answer to that. And so he said, could you look into that? And I told him I would do that. And We checked it out and found out that the nation's capital did have a Memorial Day parade for several years. The last one was in 1942, at the height of World War II. So the mayor asked us to basically get it restarted, and so we talked to John Wiscombe, and we did that. The next year, we had the first real Memorial Day parade per se. So when I look out at this magnificent event, as it's come to be, with hundreds of thousands of people looking on from the sidelines, and 4,000 or 5,000 people in the parade itself, and all these floats, and the military assets we get are tremendous, and now they're great supporters, great sponsors, great partners. So, it's a great success story. We've got a great national tradition now going in the nation's capital to honor our military.
As bands make an immediate left turn onto Constitution Avenue and they pass under a large draping American flag, they proudly start our parade by marching past our United States Archives building, and on their left, the reviewing stand with celebrities, dignitaries, foreign and domestic officials, and you just see a beaming sense of pride by the high school and the military marching bands that are part of our parade. I know the experience that marching in parades like this around the country or even internationally gives to the programs. These students, these directors go home, and I still talk about my band trips from 20 years ago. And I think that's an inspiring thing. And I think when we can do that in honor of our veterans, it has an extra special touch to it. The bands, the choirs, the orchestras, the dance organizations, even the non-performing travelers have an outstanding experience. They come to DC, and I see them walk up to our memorials, and I see them walk into the Kennedy Center, and I oftentimes see tears in their eyes. And I think it's just a moving, touching note to what we are helping them to experience.
But I think the real takeaway is that they will really be touched by being in the nation's capital, visiting monuments that are dedicated to either to wars or to veterans or to great people who have served our country. I think it will change them. I think they'll appreciate their country more. I think they will appreciate the country's history more, and they will meet real heroes during the concert, and this is something they can take back to their communities that they'll never forget.